Hello and welcome back to the Godot community. My name is Sahira Dean. I'm the virtual PLC lead for high school 2D art. In today's webinar, I wanted to talk about the Governor's Honors Program, also known as GHP. The Governor's Honors Program is a residential summer program for skilled, knowledgeable, and talented high school sophomores and juniors. I did want to add that it's important to identify your candidates as soon as possible so they will stand out, typically in their ninth grade year. Sometimes if you get to know or get to work with your middle school, your feeder schools, you might even be able to identify them in their eighth grade year, which is really, really cool. But they will stand out, which is great for you because you can help to groom them for this process even earlier. GHP offers instruction that is significantly different from the typical high school classroom and is designed to provide students with academic, cultural, and social enrichment necessary to become the next generation of global critical thinkers, innovators, and leaders. A successful GHP candidate will have the following, but is not limited to, of course. They'll be very inquisitive. They might ask a lot of questions. They'll do a lot of research on their own without you having to ask them to go the extra mile. They'll demonstrate a high capacity for processing information. They'll think and learn rapidly. So these are your students that typically stand out. They're wanting to go above and beyond. They create a lot of artwork in their personal time. Maybe they're even taking summer classes. They demonstrate a high capacity to analyze and or think abstractly. They gravitate to more high-level conversations, not always available with your typical peers. They demonstrate intensity and passion about his or her area of nomination. They develop interest in activities that foster cooperation and humility. So, for example, your students that are really, really heavily involved in your National Honor Society, National Art Honor Society, so maybe your president or your officers, they exhibit the social and emotional maturity to interact respectfully and cooperatively and appropriately with peers, instructors, and program staff. So continuing the discussion on who a GHP student is, so this helps you in terms of identifying your candidates. A GHP student is, like I said, a sophomore or junior that exhibits an undeniable level of passion in his or her preferred subject, has an appetite to learn on a deeper level that cannot always be fully satisfied in the high school classroom. So maybe you have some limited resources, or even you might have all the resources in the world, but the student is wanting more. So that's a perfect candidate for you right there. GHP caliber students find ways to study and explore their subjects independently from a classroom environment, at times despite a lack of resources. So maybe they're being really, really innovative with what they have. They're finding creative ways to get resources that they don't have. And they're doing some amazing things with those resources. Students should be able to attend GHP in the summer session. This is really important. So when you're identifying students and you find out about dates, it's definitely important to ask him or her if they're going to be free for the summer to attend a 6-7 week program, which is strictly on campus. So you definitely want to ask that question when you're identifying your students. The student should possess a sincere interest in visual arts demonstrated through relevant extracurricular activities and pursuits. So like I said, they're heavily involved in National Art Honor Society. They have several sketchbooks, or maybe they're always doodling. Maybe you get emails from math teachers about them doodling artwork on their math worksheets, so and so forth. They are interested in web design. Maybe they're really involved in the yearbook, photography. They are building a portfolio without you actually having to talk to them about portfolio. they're doing some independent studies. So maybe they have a YouTube video going, to enhance what you taught in class, or even to learn something that you haven't taught in class. Lots of illustrations and even writing. This is really important as well, especially when they're writing about his or her own work, or being able to really articulate, things they see, things they feel, not only through art, but also through writing. And then they're doing a lot of volunteer related experiences to kind of also enhance what's going on in the classroom. The student has a willingness and ability to live in a residential setting for a full length of the program. Like I said, it is a 6 to 7 week program over the summer, and they will be there the whole part of that program, or the full length of that program. They also have the capacity to be fully engaged in the curriculum for the duration of the program. This is the minimum threshold for consideration for the program. The most successful student candidates additionally have the attributes, experiences, and skills outlined in the selection criteria provided for their area of nomination. So if you're wanting more information about the Governor's Honors Program, they do have a website which is full of resources, full of frequently asked questions that you can visit and review this information. So in choosing candidates, your selection criteria, your nominees should also have a strong desire to explore the various areas of the visual arts. They possess superior drawing and creative skills. I do want to pause there and say it's not just limited to drawing, because there are a lot of artists or students that have really heavy 3D skills and really, advanced 3D skills that can be identified for this program as well. Or even, students that might not have the most advanced skills, but they have the desire and they want to learn more and do more. Those are strong candidates as well. So students view every assignment as an opportunity. They persevere through failure. They take artistic, creative risks to expand their skills in different media and styles. Students are also expected to, at times, demonstrate integrity and respect for others during their participation in the program. This is really important because they have conversations around their art. And then, this is important to help them build dialogue, successful dialogue about their process and other people's process. And it's also an exchange between other students, not only just the professor, but it's a full-on exchange between students to learn from each other and grow from each other. So this does include full participation in all aspects of the program and adherence to all rules, regulations, and expectations set forth and interpreted by GHP. So students that, are exceedingly talented, but, you kind of feel like they might not be the most mature or be able to respect or follow these rules or regulations. So if the student is nominated, they will be required to do the following. They have to complete the state online application, which is all online. It used to be paper, I think about a year or two ago, but it's all online now. They do have to commit to participation in the state level interviews. So the first round is your local. The second round is your state, so they have to be able to go to both of those. And of course, to be able to go to the second round, they have to pass the first round. And then all the interview times are scheduled by the Governor's Honors Program office. They do have to, like I said, commit to participation in the summer program for the entire period. If they're selected as a finalist and there is an opening and a closing date that they have to attend as well. Students shall participate in the GHP summer residential program only one time. They can be, so if you nominate the student their sophomore year and they don't make it through that sophomore year, they can definitely be nominated again that junior year. And I do this a lot of times for students that have the potential but also need to gain from the experience. So they can see kind of what their competition is like. Maybe they can see what the experience will be like, and that will hopefully strengthen them for the next round. So the interview expectations are as follows. The semifinalists in visual arts will participate in a two-part selection process. So there's a portfolio interview where they present their art. There's usually two teachers, one teacher, one professor. And if they make it through the first round, they do have to take a multiple choice exam. Successful semifinalists only present their strongest artistic work, present a variety of pieces, and they must meet the recommended number of pieces. So here's the information pertaining to the portfolio requirements. So there's 3 drawings, 2 color works, and 1 3-dimensional work. So no more than 13 pieces total. Sketchbooks are definitely welcome. I actually require my students to bring at least 1 sketchbook just because it shows a lot of their process. And then a maximum of 2 digital pieces may be presented, and this does count as 1 artwork, together, if they bring the 2. The selections should demonstrate the student's understanding of composition and/or principles of design. So thank you so much for tuning in to today's webinar. Again, my name is Sahira Dean, Virtual PLC Lead for High School 2D Art. I'll see you in the next video.